The person draining your life isn't a stranger. They're sitting across from you right now, texting you, calling themselves your friend, and you have no idea what they're doing to you. Here's what nobody tells you about toxic friendships. They don't start toxic. They start as your closest ally, your confidant, the person who gets you. But somewhere along the way, something shifted. You started feeling smaller, anxious, questioning yourself after every conversation. And the worst part? You think it's your fault. But here's the thing. There are 5 types of friends silently destroying you from the inside out. And the most dangerous one? Most people never see it coming. First up, the friend who just tells it like it is. Sound familiar? This is the person who always has something to say about your choices, your job, your appearance, your relationships, your dreams. They disguise it as honesty, as caring, as looking out for you. But here's what's really happening. You get excited about a new opportunity. You share it with them. And within seconds, they're listing every reason it won't work. Every risk, every flaw, every way you're not ready. You walk away feeling deflated. Like maybe they're right. Maybe you are in over your head. This is called downward social comparison. When someone feels insecure about their own life, tearing you down temporarily makes them feel superior. And your brain? It starts internalizing their voice. That critical voice becomes your inner voice. You stop trusting yourself. But here's the question you need to ask yourself. Do you feel bigger or smaller after spending time with them? Because if it's smaller, that's not friendship. That's erosion. The second type doesn't criticize you directly. They do something more subtle. Every conversation becomes about them, their problems, their drama, their crisis of the week. You listen, you support, you show up, every single time. But the moment you need them, suddenly they're busy, distracted, giving you surface-level responses before steering it back to themselves. You're going through something hard. You finally reach out, and they respond with, "Oh yeah, that's tough. But listen to what happened to me today." And just like that, your pain disappears from the conversation, like it never mattered in the first place. This is called an external locus of control. They genuinely believe life happens to them, that they have no agency, no power. And you become their emotional dumping ground. You absorb their stress, their chaos, their endless need for validation, and you get nothing in return. No reciprocity, no mutual support, just depletion. In a real friendship, support flows both ways. If you're always the listener, the giver, the one showing up, and they're never there when you need support, that's not a friendship. That's a one-sided emotional hostage situation. But the third type? This one cuts deeper. This friend is amazing until you succeed. When you're struggling, they're supportive, encouraging, your biggest cheerleader. But the moment you win, new job, new relationship, personal achievement, suddenly they go cold, distant, or worse, dismissive. You share exciting news, something you've worked hard for, and instead of celebrating with you, they respond with, "Oh, that's cool, I guess. Well, don't forget about us when you're famous." It's wrapped in sarcasm, delivered like a joke, but it stings, because underneath that joke is resentment. This is scarcity mindset in action. They believe there's only so much success to go around, and if you get some, that means there's less for them. They measure their worth by comparing themselves to you, and when you succeed, it highlights their own perceived failures. So instead of celebrating you, they need you to stay small. Here's the truth. Real friends celebrate your wins because they understand your success doesn't diminish theirs. But the jealous competitor can't do that. And that's tragic for them, but it's toxic for you. And if you thought that was bad, the fourth type violates something even more fundamental. This friend doesn't hear the word no, ever. You set a limit, they push. You ask for space, they show up anyway. You say something is off limits, they bring it up repeatedly as a joke. They borrow money and don't return it. They share your private information. They guilt-trip you when you can't do what they want. You tell them you need a weekend to yourself, and they respond with, "You're being so sensitive." "I was just trying to help. I guess I know where I stand with you." And suddenly, you're the bad guy. You're the one apologizing for having boundaries in the first place. Here's what's happening. Every time you let a boundary violation slide, you're teaching them that your limits don't matter. You're training them that if they push hard enough, you'll cave. And over time, you lose the ability to protect yourself, because you've learned that enforcing boundaries makes you the villain. Boundaries are requirements for healthy relationships. If someone repeatedly disrespects your boundaries after you've clearly communicated them, they're telling you they don't respect you. But as dangerous as that is, the fifth type is the one that destroys you from the inside out. And most people never see it until it's too late. The fifth friend doesn't just hurt you. They make you question if the hurt even happened. This is the friend who messes with your reality. They deny things they said. They twist your words. They make you doubt your own memory, your own feelings, your own sanity. You bring up something that hurt you, something you remember clearly, and they look at you like you've lost your mind. "I never said that." "You're remembering it wrong." "You're being dramatic." "You're too sensitive." And suddenly, you're apologizing. You're the one backtracking. You're thinking, "Wait, did I imagine that? Am I going crazy?" This is gaslighting. And it's the most insidious form of manipulation because it doesn't attack your body, it attacks your mind. It targets something called epistemic trust, your trust in your own ability to know what's real. And when someone you care about repeatedly tells you that your version of reality is wrong, your brain starts to doubt itself. You think, maybe I did misunderstand. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. If you feel hurt, you feel hurt. Your feelings are real, even if they refuse to validate them. Gaslighting isn't a communication issue. It's not something you can fix with better conversations or clearer boundaries. It's intentional destabilization, and it will destroy your mental health if you stay. So if you recognize this pattern, please hear me. You are not crazy. You are being manipulated. 5 types of friends. 5 different ways they take pieces of you until there's nothing left. The critic who makes you feel small. The vampire who drains you dry. The competitor who resents your light. The violator who ignores your boundaries. And the gaslighter who makes you question if any of it even happened. Here's the part nobody tells you. Letting go of toxic people isn't giving up on them. It's refusing to give up on yourself. You cannot heal in the same environment that made you sick. You cannot grow in relationships that require you to stay small. And you are not responsible for saving people who are destroying you. So, if you needed permission, here it is. You're allowed to protect your peace. You're allowed to choose yourself, even if they call you selfish, even if they make you the villain, even if it hurts. Because staying is what slowly kills you. The question isn't whether they'll change. The question is, how much of yourself are you willing to lose before you finally walk away? Drop a comment if this hit close to home. You're not alone in this.